What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? That might have been a little too soon. Missed your truth. Now, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the very first episode of the Nautical Lariat Show. Kind of switching gears and turning everything into a short form podcast, just a conversation between you and me. And today, we're going to unravel everything that's going on in WWE. So, my name is Mr. Braeden, and I'm about to take y'all to school in today's lecture on WWE. What's up? And if you guys can see, I am sporting my CBJ Wanted t-shirt that you guys can now buy on ProWrestlingTees.com. It is $15.99, as well as all my t-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. It's one of the cheaper t-shirts that you guys are going to see on that website. So if you want to help support me and support the channels, that is one of the best ways you can do it. So just go to www.ProWrestlingTees.com/Cutthroat Batson Jones. And you know, if you want to also support me in other ways, you guys can give me a follow on Instagram for Nautical Lariat. So at NLPW official for the Nautical Lariat Instagram, and at Cutthroat Catch for my, you know, professional wrestling and acting and teaching and just my everyday life, you know, account on Instagram. And also, if you are not subscribed to this channel, then what are you doing? Definitely subscribe to the Nautical Lariat channel at Nautical Lariat, and definitely subscribe to the Batson Jones channel at Pirate King CBJ. There's going to be a lot of awesome stuff coming out in the next few months. So yeah, just please stay tuned. Also, everything will be time-coded down in the description. I probably should have let you guys know that before I started rambling and plugging things, but it's the first episode, so what do you want from me? We're just going to start at WrestleMania and work our way to now. As of right now, this weekend is Money in the Bank. It is also Worlds Collide, which is the Saturday morning before, so another big show. And yeah, so let's just get started with WrestleMania. And yeah, let's just talk about Night One of Wrestlemania. Man, do I think it was superb. It was awesome. I loved the main event. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, my boy Seth Rollins. He won. And man, what a heel turn. I mean, he was already kind of like teetering on being a heel, but he kind of turned mega heel. But the heel turn that no one saw coming was Paul Heyman. It was so poetic, and as the kids are saying, cinema. It's not even cinema, it's cinematic. Like, that's not even proper grammar. So yeah, the main event was awesome. You know, 10 out of 10 on the main event. I loved it. It was definitely the stronger of the two main events for WrestleMania. Some of the ones that stick out to me, the Naomi and the Jade Cargill match, man, that was probably my favorite women's match of the entire weekend, besides the triple threat the night after. But I still probably prefer this one just because the rivalry going into it was really good. Everything that they did in the ring was pretty gnarly. So yeah, I just really enjoyed that match. The LA Knight and Jacob Fatu match, awesome. I definitely thought Jacob was going to lose. I thought LA Knight was going to retain and they were going to crown Jacob at Backlash. Clearly that did not happen. I believe my total score for the entire weekend was, there's 14 matches total, so I think I was 7-7. And Bruno almost went 7-0 for night one, and he almost went 7-0 for night two. But he just demolished me in predictions. So, yeah, screw you, Bruno. El Grande Americano versus Phoenix was awesome. It's really a shame to see that Ray had to be pulled out, but, you know, Ray Phoenix had a great debut at WrestleMania against, you know, El Grande Americano. I'm really hoping everyone finds out who this guy is, because this dude's just a menace. Everyone thinks he's Chad Gable. He's honestly probably like Chris Van Vliet. Or my popular pick is he's actually probably Otis. Just look at the two guys. The physiques are probably the same. So yeah, that's really all I have to say for night one. It's been like almost 3 months since WrestleMania, so I'm getting this out pretty late. But yeah, let's see what I graded it. WrestleMania Night 1, here's the grade. I gave it an 85%, which is a 17 out of 20, which in the grade book, it will go in as a B. Going into Night 2, I think it was the weaker of the two nights. I definitely think the triple threat match at the beginning of the show was phenomenal. I also think, speaking of phenomenal, I also think that the Logan Paul match and the AJ Styles match was very good. I definitely think AJ should have won. I definitely think you could have saw a face turn for someone like Karrion Kross helping AJ to win. Karrion Kross is a amazing dude, and I really hope he gets added to the Money in the Bank, because the dude needs to win the Money in the Bank. WWE, what are you doing? But I'm going off on tangents. So yeah, I definitely think AJ should have won, but Logan did win. It was a pretty fun match. I enjoyed it. Yeah, let's just talk about the main event. Where are you at, Dwayne? Where are you at, DJ? I don't understand the build. And, you know, Rock has talked about it now. We've had almost 3 months of digesting everything that happened. But if you haven't seen it, spoilers, John Cena became Mr. 17, the Unseen 17. And Rock did not come out at Mania. Instead, Travis Scott came out, walked very slowly to the ring. Some shenanigans happened. Cody gave him a receipt. And John just hit Cody in the balls and pretty much won. Honestly, I don't remember too much of the match, and I've watched it twice now. But as a main event, it was very anticlimactic. What you could have done if you knew Rock wasn't going to be at Mania, which that was the rumor ever since last year's WrestleMania, that Rock wasn't going to be at WrestleMania 41. But they started hinting at Rock returning. You know, they did the thing with Cody and Rock after WrestleMania last year with the whispering and handing him something in his hand. And then they did the bad blood angle. And then they did Cody selling his soul to The Rock, but in reality it was John Cena's heel turn. And then no payoff at Mania, only Travis Scott. So I just think that's very odd. I think if we knew Rock wasn't going to be there, then you shouldn't have been throwing us these bones here and there throughout the last calendar year, only for us to be kind of pissed off and have a sour taste in our mouth after the Night 2 main event of your biggest show of the year. So, not really cool to do that. I don't necessarily think it's 100% Rock's fault. There's probably so many things at play that we don't even know. I'm not even going to try to speculate on the bullshit that went on. But yeah, it was very, uneventful. What you should have done is have there be a ref bump, have Rock go on the Titantron being like, don't worry, I'm sending down a new referee. Send down Travis Scott as the referee, and that would be like, the dude already has heat, but that would have been like good heat if Travis Scott was the one that did the 1, 2, 3. It would have just been so absurd, and people would have been genuinely mad and genuinely upset, but in a more, professional wrestling sort of way. Or maybe have The Rock not be on Titantron, and, who would have sent Travis Scott out to do this, especially if Travis Scott kind of, played it off like he was talking to someone in the back, and then Triple H could have been like, oh, I didn't send him out, so that was a message from the higher-ups, which then you would have been like, oh, the higher-ups is The Rock, so it would have just been implied. But yeah, let's go over what my grade was for Night 2. Night 2, 82%, 16.25 out of 20, which means it is officially a B-. Going right into Backlash. Man, it was awesome. I loved Backlash. The opener, oh my gosh. I didn't talk about Drew and Damian from Night 2 of Mania, but that was one of my favorite matches on Night 2. But this, the Fatal 4-Way, Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and LA Knight for the US title, it was just a car wreck, guys. It was awesome. If you haven't seen it, go out and watch it. Ugh, talking too fast. If you guys haven't seen it, go out and watch it right now. It's phenomenal. It's really, really good. It was a great way to highlight the U.S. title. I think the U.S. title is honestly more prestigious right now than the IC title is, which is weird, But as of right now, yeah, the US title just feels like a top prize. Yeah, everything else on the card, you had the Pat McAfee match with Gunther, which probably went a little too long, but it was fine. Dominic defending against Penta, which was fine. You had Lyra defending against Becky, which was fine. Talking about their match from Mania with the tag team match, I think they shotgunned everything way too fast. Everything just feels kind of meh with it. So, but it was a decent match, a little long, but it was a good match. Good to have the IC belt on a card. I don't think the women's US title has been on any card yet, like actual PLE card, not Saturday night's main event, but PLE. I don't think it's been on any PLE, so WWE, you introduce titles, use them. And man, the main event, Orton versus John Cena, probably for the last time. It was awesome. It was probably top 3 of Cena and Orton's best matches. But everything going into this, it was fun. It was fun to see Orton hitting those AAs on Cena. It's really cool to see Orton bigger than Cena, because throughout their entire careers, Cena was bigger than Orton, like weight and muscle wise, but Orton just looked like Batista here, just manhandling Cena. I love how Cena's heat is pretty much his comeback, just slowed down, which is awesome. He's also hitting those double axe handles, which are awesome. I love double axe handles. I really hope I don't get hit with any anytime soon. And yeah, just seeing Orton hit those AAs, seeing Orton line up the punt kick, seeing Orton just want to win, number 15. Seeing R-Truth, speaking of the guy, seeing R-Truth just kind of stop. There's a lot of shenanigans. Everyone's getting RKO'd. Nick Aldis got RKO'd again. We're probably going to do that match eventually. But R-Truth coming in and kind of doing that, everyone's like, what's going on here? Truth, what you doing? But they did plant the seeds on SmackDown pretty well, so I thought it was super cool. Then the press conference, Cena RKOing Truth, leading up to Saturday night's main event. Yeah, so let's give this a grade real quick. Though Backlash, 88%. Yeah, 17.5 out of 20. That definitely gets a B+. It was probably the weaker of the two Backlashes the last 2 years. Obviously, because you had Puerto Rico and then you have France. En français, en français. And, congratulations to PSG. We won, baby. Woo! Sweet! Oh, God, I'm too American. So, yeah, let's just go right into Saturday night's main event. So, I'm just going to tell you the grade right away for Saturday night's main event. I'm going to give it a 75%. 15 out of 20, which means it is a solid C. This is the May Saturday night's main event. They're going to be doing a lot of them, so just so you know, this is the May one. And, yeah, the cage match, Damian and Drew, awesome. Cena and Truth, it was short, it was sweet, it was fun. I liked it, I dug it. It could have been more. I think both guys could have done more, but I think it was more or less to set up what's going to happen in the future. Then you had the tag match with Breakker and Seth versus Sammy and Punk. That was really fun at the beginning of the show. You had the Women's US Championship match, I'm pretty sure. It was short, and there was so many ads. So I really want to say it was Zelina Vega defending her US title. That sounds right. It's probably not good that I don't remember it, but that's what I think it is. So yeah, I'm just going to say it was okay. But yeah, the main event, it was really just an angle. Jay and Logan went, 10 minutes or so. It was fine. And then just Cody came back. So, yeah, I always love hearing Jesse Ventura on commentary. And man, he was hilarious during the cage match. Especially when Damian just walked out, like, he's just ranting. Oh, he just walked out the front door. The front door. Give me a break. Walked out the front door. That's probably a really bad Jesse Ventura, but I'm going to roll with it. Those are my reviews, and yeah, it's been a busy couple months of WWE, and, we have Money in the Bank, but I do know that Karrion Kross is not in it. I know El Grande Americano just won on last night's Monday Night Raw. Punk and AJ, those guys just need to do a feud eventually, soon. Karrion Kross. First off, before I get into the releases rant, WWE, Karrion Kross is a national treasure. Not just national, a global treasure. Put him in the Money in the Bank match. let him run. The dude is awesome. You brought him back for a reason. Just test the waters with him. He is phenomenal. Speaking of guys who are global treasures, WWE released R-Truth. And just to clear the air, it's not really a release. They pretty much just did not want to re-sign him after his contract expired, which is really unfortunate. I hope he gets a Legends deal. I hope he comes back as a producer or manager in some way, but R-Truth, I know you're producing music. Please go support him on all of his social media and support his music and support whatever next is for Ron Killings. So Truth, thank you for the memories. What's up? Also, it just got released that Carlito is going to be done in 2 weeks, which is really unfortunate too. You know, the guy just won, I believe, the WWC championship down in Puerto Rico. I could be wrong. It could be the WWA. I forget the name of the promotion. My apologies. But yeah, he just won the Puerto Rican championship down in his father's promotion, which is super cool. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, Carlito back on the indies doing more stuff. He's probably going to get picked up by TNA, I would assume, or maybe a different company. Maybe he goes to AEW. But yeah, super upsetting that he is going to be gone in 2 weeks, but also super cool that he just won that championship, and I really look forward to seeing what he does. Okay, rapid fire other thoughts that are going on in WWE. Money in the Bank, super looking forward to it. Maybe I'll put a poll on Instagram and say what my predictions are, and you guys can tell me how right I am or how wrong I am with the predictions once we know the exact card. I'll do the same thing for the Worlds Collide show that is the morning before. You guys can, you know, comment on that and let me know how right or wrong I am on that. But just to go over some other things, NXT Battleground just happened. Joe Hendry lost the TNA World title to Trick Williams, which means this is the very first WWE superstar, signed contract superstar, who has ever held the TNA title at the same time. Super cool to see. I really want to see TNA differentiate themselves from just being WWE NXT's second brand, which is exactly what it kind of feels like right now. But I just hope WWE doesn't become that dominant, overbearing big brother like they can be sometimes. I hope TNA sticks out, and I hope that there is a long-term good plan for putting a TNA World title on someone like Trick Williams. Speaking of Joe Hendry, back in September, I was able to do commentary for his MAW Tag Team title win, and it was my commentary debut, and I very briefly had an interaction with him, and he was very polite, very kind. I got to listen to the Q&A. He's a phenomenal guy. He's been doing awesome stuff. He was in the Rumble. He had the match with Randy at Mania. I didn't even touch on that. That was a huge surprise. Yeah. Awesome to see that Joe's doing awesome stuff, and I really hope that the TNA stuff works out long term. And finally, my final thing I want to rant about before we plug off for the day, I think that's what you say. NXT Europe. I had an inkling back in March. Then they had, you know, some superstars from the British Gladiator show, which is like American Gladiators, and some superstars from the French Gladiator show, like American Gladiators. And I was like, okay, well, they kind of bring in athletes and talent from a lot of different areas when they do NXT stuff. So I was thinking, okay, so they're probably gonna be gearing up for NXT or NXT Europe. And then the speculation started coming out, oh, we're doing another European tour, obviously at the end of August with Clash in Paris. And then now they're saying that they're gonna do NXT Europe starting in September. Super cool to see. I hope it is commercially better than NXT UK. I think the content of NXT UK was phenomenal. It was one of my favorite shows that I was watching every week in college, but commercially just didn't do well. I also hope that if NXT Europe does come, I hope it is really good for the indie scenes surrounding Europe, because it was a little disruptive for the UK wrestling scene when it was only in UK. You can Google it and see why it was a little bit distressing for some of those smaller promotions when WWE was in town. I hope it's beneficial to the independent scene as well as beneficial to the superstars who get signed. So yeah, I already plugged stuff at the beginning of this episode, so I'm just gonna put all the stuff that you guys need to do over here. And yep, make sure you guys are following and subscribing. This is gonna be a weekly or semi-weekly thing that I do. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and as always, have a great day. Savvy!
Whoa, Black Betty, bam lamb. Whoa, Black Betty, bam lamb. Black Betty had a child, bam lamb. The damn thing gone wild, bam lamb. She's had him worry my mind, bam lamb. The damn thing gone blind, bam lamb. Whoa, Black Betty, bam lamb.
Yep, gonna miss you, Truth.